What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is the day. We're gonna get started on that Rocket Bunny kit. So this is the Miata before. Take a look, enjoy it, because after today she's not gonna look the same. So let me get my tools and all that ready, and then we're gonna get into it. Alright guys, so here are a few of the tools I'm gonna be using for this job. I may or may not use all of them, but I just have them. I got a Sawzall, but mainly I'm going to be using this angle grinder that I picked up. It was only like 26 bucks or something like that, and got really good reviews. Some files after the cuts, drill of course, and then for the drills that I will be using for the fender flares, I got some 3 and 32 of these cobalt drill bits, and then I also have a automatic center punch right here, and that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to do. Center punch and drill out these, get the easy stuff over with first, and then from there we'll start mocking up and start making our cuts. And yeah, another thing, as you can see, I'm working on rocks here. So if I can do it on rocks, all the stuff that I've done to this car, even the stuff that I do now, you guys can do it too if you put your mind to it. I know I don't want to sound cliche, but if you have the will and the drive to want to do something to your car, you'll work through it and you'll find enjoyment out of it. Alright guys, so I got all my punches. So now next step is to start drilling this stuff, and then from there we can start mounting, drawing up our lines and stuff like that, and start the cutting. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so that's one down, 3 to go. Alright guys, so I just got done cutting all the rest of the fender flares. Now it's time to start mounting them. So I'm going to get the car up on jack stands. Not jack stands, well, I probably won't even use jack stands, but I'm going to jack it up and then remove the wheels, and then we're going to start on this side right here, mocking up, making our cuts, and then yeah, I'll show you from there. Alright guys, the first thing you're going to want to do when you come to this point is to remove the fender liner. In my case, what's left of the fender liner, since the car was or is lowered. Found a socket. Yeah, so let's do that. Alright guys, when you come to the point where you remove your fender liner, you're going to notice the wire loom right here, and you're going to want to go ahead and secure that, tuck that some way, mount it closer to the inner fender, just so you don't, go cutting your wires and stuff when you do make the cuts. But yeah, that's going to be, I'm going to secure that, and then we're going to get to cutting. Alright guys, so there's the first cut, test fit it, but definitely if you're going to use an angle grinder or something like that, you're going to want to wear ear protection because this thing is pretty loud. Wear face protection just in case. You can never be too safe, You only got one set of eyes and one set of ears for the rest of your life, okay? So remember that. Safety first. So yeah, as you can see guys, we're going to have to cut a lot more because the panel still has that much of a gap. So we'll go ahead and take another, looks like an inch, maybe ½ inch off, and then we'll go from there. What's going on guys? I came to you guys with this video because I accidentally deleted a lot of the footage of me cutting the fenders. I know I hear Smokey right now. I hear him in the back of my head.
God damn. You got to be a stupid motherfucker.
But, so I'm gonna give you guys a little brief overview of what I did when I was cutting the fenders and stuff like that, and what things to look out for. So when you're mounting and cutting the front over fender, one of the things that you're gonna want to do, or one of the things that I had to look out for, was getting this bottom hole kind of like stretched out. Initially the hole was like about maybe that size, and it was kind of, if you notice here, I had messed that hole up right there because it was sitting a little too low. So I had to stretch it out in order to bring the fender like up more, and it kind of threw things off here. So if you are putting this kit on your car, make sure you stretch this hole out, and that will allow you to bring the fender flare up. Another little thing to look out for when you get everything like lined up, this fender, it has like a little lip on there, and that lip is what's gonna basically hug around this part of the car. So that's a sure sign that your fender liner is properly lined up. So that's the two things to look out for when you're at this part. And in order to get that lined up, you're just going to take material off from this part of the fender. Just keep shaving down, just like in this region here. Just keep shaving that material until you get it lined up there, and then you get the bottom bolt put in, and then from there you're just going to get this part of the fender. You see there's like a little kind of like bulge right there. You're going to get that lined up in this groove here. Once you have that lined up, go ahead and put a bolt on that hole right there. And then once you do that, you just keep mocking up. Another thing that helps in this situation when you are putting on the front over fender is removing the bumper. You're gonna have to remove the bumper. You're gonna run into some issues because there are some things that hit that front bumper and prevent you from mounting this little part right here on the over fender. As you can see, I had to you're gonna have to cut material from here in order for that to clear. Guys, I didn't make or use any real measurements. I just tried to maybe stay like an, I don't know what this is, like an inch or so, inch and a half. And you can tell like my cut isn't the straightest, but where you have your mounting holes, maybe go like an inch and a half below that, and then you can just free ball it. Like I just eyeballed it, and then just with masking tape I just tried to make like an arch around where I was going to cut, and then went ahead and made my cut. And as I can see, like I said, I eyeballed it. Like this is a lot larger than the space from my other mounting holes to the end of the edge of the fender. So yeah, I'm not sure if it matters to take more material, but I just did it to where the part of the over fender, this part, was clearing, and that was it. So once you get those issues sorted out, you should be good. But yeah, focus on that bottom bolt, stretch that hole out just so you can have more room to bring it up and to get it centered here in this groove. And then once you have that, make your first drill here and then here, just so you have that. And then work in an alternating pattern. So like once I had this screw in, I went here and I put this screw in, and then I went here and put this, and worked my way to the top. I found that more effective just because when I was going in a like a sequence like that, like a straight line, it was kind of like the over fender was kind of like bunching up and stuff like that. So kind of work in that pattern. That worked for me. And guys, for the rear over fender, when you're mounting this, all you have to do is, it's a lot easier than the front. You basically straight mount it, and again, it has like certain grooves, like this groove right here, for the rear part, and then it has this groove right here, so you can see that little bulge, and that lines up here on this groove on the Miata. And then the rear part is going to go like in between the bumper, that bumper groove right there, that line, it's going to go there. And so once you have that all sorted out, you'll basically hold it up, and then you'll drill like any hole. I use the top just so it's more like centered. I did that, or I might have done the bottom. I can't remember, but whatever works for you, just to have the fender on there properly. And those grooves, make sure it's in the grooves. I made sure it was in the grooves, and then once it was in the groove with a couple of bolts, I went ahead and put the rest in. I went ahead and removed those bolts or those screws, and then from there, from like the top, I went down like 2.5 inches and basically masked off. Again, I eyeballed it, and you're gonna basically take off a little bit of the bumper, not too much, just a very little bit, maybe like an inch. You're gonna go an inch. As you can see, I didn't take out this bottom line in the bumper, but yeah, just kind of eye it, and you don't have to take off too much material from here. This flat part right here, does kind of interfere with the body, so that's why I kind of took just a little bit. But if you can see down there, there's still this part of the body that I didn't touch. And so yeah, you're just gonna make like a kind of a arc, and you're just gonna cut. Once you make your first cut up top, you'll remove it, and then you'll see you'll kind of do like a half moon kind of cut. So you'll cut like the top, and then you'll still have the edge of the fender, and then from the edge, so you'll make this cut here, and then you'll cut the edge of the fender, and then you'll remove basically a half moon kind of. You'll pull that out, and then that will expose the bottom or the inner portion of the fender, and then so you'll see it like kind of like sticking out like extra metal. And then you'll basically, I just took a black marker and marked up like kind of closer to the edge just to get it more even, and then cut that inner layer. And once you cut that inner layer, you move on to filling with the filler. This damn train. Yeah, so that's about it. This is a learning experience as the train goes more. Always have your files in order. Make sure you pay attention to what you're doing, just so you don't delete any unnecessary files or files that you don't want to delete. Back to the video. All right, guys, so got all the expanding foam in there ready to go. I'm actually joined here, got some help for the next step. It's my brother. We're gonna move on to mounting the wing for the duckbill. Shouldn't be too hard, just a few drills, and go ahead and mount it up. Gonna get it drilled and mounted, so here we go. Alright guys, so we went ahead and took the bumper off. We did our 2 screws, and then we're just going to do the rest with the bumper off the car, and it's going to be a little easier to drill and screw these in. there you guys go. There is the bumper complete. Front lip parallel to the screw on the corner turn signal, or the bumper signal there, and about the same there. So start on the corners on the top, get it lined up there, and then work your way through the rest of the bumper. And then also on the bumper, I had to, once I got my bumper and everything mounted, I had to cut the excess material out, and then I had to make a little indentation here just for that part of the over fender to clear. We're gonna start making our cuts to the bumper here, and then that should do it for today.